So while Marvel may be skipping cinemas entirely in 2020, there's plenty of news about the Disney Plus side of the equation, because later this year, we're going to be getting Wandavision, which released a trippy trailer earlier this month, or excuse me, last month now. I'm losing track of time. Thank you, Endgame. We also got some casting news for She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel. So there's an awful lot to look forward to from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, even while we are trapped at home, much like Scott Lang was in Ant-Man and the Wasp. So let's start with WandaVision. This has been one of my most anticipated new entries for the Marvel Cinematic Universe because I love these characters. The Vision has always been one of my favorite Avengers, and especially after the miniseries they did, The Visions or maybe it was just The Vision a few years ago, which is like this weird little kind of suburban sci-fi story. I've been incredibly excited to see what they're going to do with this. So I'm curious for the panel, what was your reaction to this trailer? What do you think is going on here? Hector, let's start with you.
I loved it. I have been so excited for this show since they announced it because I've always loved the potential that these two characters can bring to the Marvel world. And when it was just movie time, we would only get little glimpses and little pieces and little hints and little Easter eggs and little references to their relationship and to the greater picture. And we were never going to get a story where we could spend time with Wanda and Vision. We were never going to get a story where they had kids and then their kids were revealed to be magical manifestations. So Wanda's going to lose her mind, but then actually, no, they were real. And now they're part of the Young Avengers and all of that crazy stuff that comic books can do. It was never going to be that until Marvel Studios was like, but what if it is? And we did a bunch of TV shows to fill in the sort of gaps of storytelling that we may be missing between the years of movies that we're getting. And Dan, you said it, the Tom King written Vision miniseries is dark and it's awesome. And so many things about the story leading up to the event House of M is so interesting. And I love that Scarlet Witch is such a powerful character. And I really liked Elizabeth Olsen's portrayal thus far. I just am really fascinated to see how that story might change and be updated, because frankly, it's also kind of a bummer that one of the most powerful female members of a superhero universe is like the one who's like, oh, she's gone crazy. She's lost her mind. And that's always kind of been built into her character, sort of. But this is a different Wanda. There's no Quicksilver. Like, we haven't seen Magneto yet. What kinds of things can they do to not necessarily redeem this character, but the same way that Spider-Gwen is kind of a redemption arc for the character and the idea of Gwen Stacy having died in the 70s just to propel the male character storyline forward. I think you could do something like that with the MCU Wanda. You could do something where she may exhibit some of those kinds of reality manipulating abilities, and yet she may have more agency, is what I'm hoping for. So stoked on the trailer. It was trippy dippy, and I loved pretty much everything that they gave us. Kathryn Hahn. Mwah, so good.
Yes. Kathryn Hahn is someone who, whenever she comes on screen, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, you're in this as well. Great. Like, always just like it adds a certain extra something to projects that she's in.
Just have to say about Kathryn Hahn, in a movie with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, she steals Step Brothers. Like, Step Brothers is her movie. So that's how good Kathryn Hahn is.
Yeah, that is, oh man, I wish she was playing that same character in WandaVision, but who knows? Maybe she will play at least part of it. But I think we had a video go up about how we think that she's playing Agatha Harkness, a very important character in Scarlet Witch lore. But Karama, what do you think about this trailer? What do you think is going to happen? Who do you think Kathryn Hahn actually is? What is she up to?
No, I completely agree. I was going to actually say that. I think she's listed as Agnes, but that could be a alias for Agatha Harkness. Here's my thing. I know if Agatha's there, Mephisto is probably not far behind. But as Hector said, this is probably a different Wanda, because the Wanda in the MCU was made in a lab. She does not get her powers from Chthon. So yes, that's like, it could be anything. I do like the fact that we're introducing Sword. I do like the fact that I'm seeing Monica Rambeau. That is my Miss Marvel. Fight me. Sorry, my Captain Marvel. My Captain Marvel. Miss Marvel is, we'll get to that. My Captain Marvel. And I just like the fact that we are seeing, okay, there is a bubble. I personally think that Agnes, Agatha, whoever it is controlling in some way, shape, or form Wanda. Wanda is mourning the loss of Vision. This is me, mourning the loss of Vision, and has created in her head some type of safe haven. She has created a place that she can go that is safe from the universe. Honestly, if I had that power, I would do that right now too. But I love the fact that it's a bubble, a story within a story, and that we're going to get her story, and then we're also going to get Shield and the other things and Sword and other things that have been happening, because Sword is also usually in space. Why are they on land? So there's a lot of things that I'm excited to see, but it's 2020 and I have trust issues now. So
I can't imagine what about 2020 would make you feel that way. But you mentioned Monica Rambeau, who I'm super excited to see in this, whether or not we get to see her suit up as Spectrum in this movie or manifest some sort of superpowers as well. But I've also seen some folks online, I believe it was the folks over at New Rockstars, speculating that she may not actually be playing Monica Rambeau. She may actually be Mephisto. So what do you think about that? And if it's not her, do you think we've seen Mephisto already in the trailer somewhere?
Well, what's really going to bake your noodle is it could be both. Because Mephisto can
My
do
noodle.
that. Mephisto can do that. So I'm not going to let go that is Monica, because I need to hold on to something. Okay, man, give me something. But I feel like in the trailer, help me out, Hector, didn't she go flying? Like, didn't we see when she landed,
she got,
her eyes
rocketed out of there?
Right, and then her eyes she had the old white, what it looked like to me, old Spectrum suit on, and then she looked like she landed, her eyes lit up like Photon. Is that, now I have to go back and do my little frame by frame, but I could have sworn you saw like 8 frames of Photon's eyes light up. So I want to hold on to hope that's her, but like I said, 2020 keeps breaking my heart. So